Alright, so today's lesson is on nets, prism, and pyramids. So the first question we're going to look at is what characteristics does a pyramid have? Okay. Alright. So we know that a pyramid has one base. Okay, and that base can either be a triangle, a square, even a rectangle. And then it has a triangular sides. So it's one base with triangular sides. Okay. Our next one is prisms. What characteristics do prisms have? Okay. A prism has two bases. Okay. And it has rectangular sides. Alright, and then there are two parts to naming a prism or a pyramid. The first thing you want to do is your base shape. Okay. This is our base shape. Okay. And then our second name, or we could say our last name, is going to be prism or a pyramid. Alright, and by having a last name of prism, I know that the sides are going to be rectangular, and by having a last name of pyramid, I know that sides are going to be triangular. Okay? So the last other question we want to think about too is a cylinder a prism? Alright, the answer to that is no. And the reason for that is that the sides are not, you could say rectangular or triangular, but it is a curved face. Let's do this. The side is a curved face. Okay. All right. So what is a net? Because we're talking about prisms and pyramids of nets, and a net is actually a flattened 3D shape. So you're taking a shape, kind of cutting it apart, kind of flattening it out. So we're flattening a three-dimensional shape. Okay. So here are some examples of some nets here. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Okay. So the first thing I'm going to go ahead and do to name these is I'm going to go ahead and look at my base shape. And if I look at this first one right here, I can see that we have 4 points here, and they're all triangles, and it looks like those 4 triangular points are probably going to fold up together and meet at the very top, which means I know this is going to be a pyramid. I know this will be a pyramid. Now what kind of pyramid it's going to be, I need to go ahead and look at my base shape. And it looks like this shape right here is a rectangle. So I would call this a rectangular pyramid. Okay. Alright, number 2. I have, it looks like my shape, looks like I can take these two little sides here and I can probably fold them up together on the sides. And then I can take this and I can wrap it around it. Okay, giving me those rectangular shapes. So my two base shapes, which is my last name here, is going to go ahead and be my it's my first name, which is going to be my little squares right here. Okay. And then I notice that my 4 sides here are rectangles, so it's going to be a prism. So we can either call this a square or a rectangular prism. Okay. All right, number 3. Looks like I have 2 circles for my bases right here, okay? But I'm not going to go ahead and call this a circular prism because it looks like this right here is going to wrap around it, and it's going to be a curved face, and this is going to be my pyramid. Not my pyramid, my cylinder. Okay. Let's look at number 4. In this case here, I have a 3 dotted lines here, so I know I'm going to have some kind of triangle here. And it looks like I can take my little edges here, my point here, point here, point here, and I can fold them up and they will meet at the very top, or the very center right here. Okay? So I know this is going to be a pyramid. And then it looks like it's going to be a triangular pyramid, because I have a triangle for the base. Alright, next. Looks like I have two triangles here, and then I have a rectangle here in the middle, and then I have two other rectangles that looks like they're going to fold up and they're going to meet together. Okay, so it looks like the sides are going to be rectangles, and when I know my sides are rectangles, it is going to be a prism. Looks like my two bases here are going to be triangles, so this is a triangular prism. And then lastly, number 6. Looks like here is a base right here, which is a square, and it looks like these two sides fold up, and then the rest will wrap around it. So I know that it's going to be a prism because we're involved in rectangles or squares here. In this case, we can either call this a cube, so where all sides are a square, or I can call this a square prism. Either one would be acceptable. Alright, and then a few other 3D shapes that you need to go ahead and know. First one is...
Basilico, please call the office. Basilico, please call the office.
First one is a sphere. Okay. Notice inside my sphere it kind of has a oval circle shape there. And then lastly is my cone. Okay. Notice how there's a circle spherical shape there as well. Okay. So those are my nets and some 3D shapes that I'm going to need to know, and some ways that I can classify them. Remember, first name is the base, second name is either prism or pyramid.